Okay, I've wanted to give my experience of your birth for a while. I don't know why I find it really fascinating and wish that I had heard more of information or been somehow better prepared for what I was really going through, because maybe it's just one of the things you don't know until you do it, but and everyone's way of going about it is different. So even if I would have heard somebody's perfect recollection and what helped them, it might not have been the same. You know, some people do birth at home, or just unplanned is when the labor happens, or a hospital. We went with a birthing center that employs some nurses that have been nurses at hospitals for normal delivery and births for a long time, but they like the birthing center for whatever reasons they have. So your due date was April 1st, no joke. And coming up to be almost a week late, your mom started having what maybe were Braxton Hicks or real, we don't know. You don't know until afterwards. Contractions Friday night, Saturday morning. And the way this birthing center wanted it was, or that they do it, is a 4-1-1 rule, 4-minute long contractions, 1 minute apart for an hour long before you go in, and the nurses meet you at the birthing center for, I think it's called the third stage of labor, of the dilation and everything as you're ready to come out. So what I'm going to do is go ahead and read the doula's notes that she was so kind to send me, Amy, and interject or try to speak from my point of view where necessary or where I have more to add. 4/7/24. Mom's husband Sean called for a doula. She arrived at Labor of Love Birthing Center at 8:30 a.m. We arrived there at 4:30 a.m. She started with contractions Friday. Mom had been feeling pain to the front of belly, and she was just getting out of the tub when the doula arrived. She was 40 weeks and 5 days. Grandma Cheryl was also there. The doula briefed with the midwife and birthing assistant on Mom's birth plan and what's going on with baby. Baby was high, and Mom is 4 centimeters, 40% effaced. So she told Mom, let's go for a walk and see how things go. We walked around, did lunges. Mom was letting her know her pain was to the front of the belly and pelvis area. It hurts a lot. We then went inside and started to do a circuit of movements to see if we could get the baby engaged. We started with side laying positions. Mom was still in a lot of pain, so after the 3 contractions, I got her to stand up and we did belly lifts, 8 of them with contractions. Then we did side laying positioning to finish that position. Let Mom take a break, and then we did flying cowgirl for 30 minutes and other side for 30 minutes. We then did extreme running position, then knees together. Once that circuit was done, Mom and I went for a walk to see how things were feeling. This was mostly around, although not always around, the birthing center. It just has a nice scenery and wooden kind of porch that circles the whole building. Baby got checked, and midwife said the baby was feeling lower. Contractions were coming spaced out and then together, then spaced out again. Midwife gave Mom some herbs to drink and help her labor on, and clary sage with coconut oil on belly to help bring on steady contractions. Grandma was great. She kept Mom on food and hydrated, although mostly Mom could only snack. drink a little bit of water, maybe water with electrolytes, like Pedialyte. Dad was focusing on mom, focusing mom's breathing and calming, and maybe some of my experience in yoga classes and prana classes and all sorts of yoga classes helped my instincts kick in to help her breathe calmly. And I kind of had to make mantras along the way to get her to be repetitive about it and make it something that, was simple, and not because in the excitement she wasn't breathing perfectly steady. The panic, the pain, maybe not panic, but so I remember one of the things I had to, or that occurred to me to keep saying, was to breathe from your chest. And the midwives and doulas noticed also that she had shorter breathing, like from her neck. Because if you're in pain, that's really not, the air's not coming down into your diaphragm and going where you need it in your body. So your mom hasn't done so much yoga and breath work as I have. And it's obviously a very different thing anyway, going through labor, but I tried in the time to teach her and focus, and it did help her, that you can consciously focus where your breath is going if you're in pain or having pain or need it in one place or another. And so if there wasn't a place, it was just focus it towards the pain in the stomach, baby especially. So breathe heavy, slow breaths, chest breaths, deep, good breaths. Doula did positions and pain management. We were a great team for mom. The midwife is called Natasha, and the birthing assistant was Melinda. Mom was checked 3 times during labor process. She broke water around 6:30 p.m. Mom kept saying she had to urge to push and wants baby out. She was in a lot of pain at this time. I remember her saying 7, maybe 8 or 9 when they asked on a scale of 1 to 10, her pain scale. Midwife said she can do some practice pushing. Mom was 9 centimeters complete, and baby was 0 station. Mom started on the stool. She was tensing and having a hard time using the right muscles for pushing, and was saying how her back was hurting and her butt also. I suggested we get her on the bed and tried knees inward for a couple of practice pushes. Then midwife suggested we go back to sitting on the stool and pushing after the back broke. Midwife asked mom to stop pushing and to rest for a bit, and noticed when she checked that her cervix was swelling and baby was high up again, and what she was feeling before the bag broke was kaput, not baby's skull. Mom got into the tub to labor a bit in there, trying to relieve the pain that mom was having in her back and butt. I was called to the office to speak with the midwife and assistant. We discussed mom's situation on the swelling and the baby's position. I was asked what my assessment of the situation is with mom, and to do, I think mom can handle staying, or would it be best for her to go to the hospital? My response was, if you're telling me swelling will go down in an hour and we can guarantee that she can start pushing in the 2-hour mark, yes, she has it in her to succeed. But if you're saying there is no telling on timing and this can take hours, no, mom's past the point of exhaustion. Yeah, this is well over a day of labor and probably 8, 10, 12, 14 hours at the labor center at this point. She needs meds to help her relax and give her body and baby time to reposition and finish dilating. The midwife thanked me for my opinion, and she went to speak to mom and family. The midwife explained to mom what was going on and how she can continue to labor there, or she can go to the hospital and get an epidural and rest for the swelling to go down and try to have the baby vaginally. Mom and Dad decided that the hospital was the next best choice. I didn't decide, and I'm perfectly fine with it, and I just thought it was her choice where she felt most comfortable, because we aren't the biggest fans of the medical industry and hospitals and such. That's an outcome for emergencies. I've used them for surgery and broken things in my life. Love them for that. But she was in enough pain to where she was ready to go to the hospital. And I was just like, oh, if it's your choice, I'm right ready for you. But that was her choice was pretty quick. Mom and Dad decided the hospital was the next best choice, I followed clients to Advent Health, where she briefed the nurses Lauren and Jen and OB Patel on the client's info. Thankfully, she knew all this or had the notes and paperwork, because I don't know how much help. I guess it may have worked out, but I had the doula walk in first. They only allowed one person at first for I feel like less than a half hour. I got in afterwards also. They got Mom on the monitors and checked her at 10:30 p.m. I'm just thinking, like, that is 18 hours after getting to the birth center. That's crazy. Doc then gave Mom pain meds and Benadryl plus oxygen. Mom was having a hard time getting her breath during the contractions. She was being prepped for epidural. Her next check was going to be at 1 a.m. and then at 4 a.m. By the 1 a.m. mark, her swelling was going down. By 4 a.m., swelling was going down, but everything else stayed the same. Doc wanted to give her sugar water and start PIT to help with contractions. I, at this time, let the client know I was going to leave to let them rest, and when progression starts, to call Leanne. That was the original doula that we were coordinating with and meeting with up until you finally came. Let them know that you're ready for a doula. Client and I spoke over the phone after that a couple times. They discussed things with Leanne as well. By 2-ish, I got the call that they are talking about C-section. Which I'm perfectly okay with, despite the extra healing that goes into that. It's like a couple months and harder than, I guess, vaginal birth and such. Swelling hadn't completely gone down, and baby was starting to stress, according to their monitors. So, I guess heartbeat, if that's what they were monitoring. So went high, went low. They like a lot of movement there in the middle. Not calm, even if it's in the middle, I guess, is not best. Water has been broken at this time for 18 hours. Mom is exhausted and nervous. I explained the process over the phone. The doula spoke to us and informed us of possible outcomes. Mom didn't want baby to receive meds or any extra medical intervention if possible. We're going to discuss with the doctor how long they can try to keep laboring before a C-section was needed. I received a text from Leanne saying they took her for a C-section and baby was born at 3:48 on the 8th of April 2024. 8 pounds 9 ounces, 21 inches. This is really during the end of the eclipse. I guess that's better than April Fool's. Man knows best. Mom was also doing well. Leanne will be seeing the clients for the rest of the individual. Clients did an amazing job at advocating and keeping in contact with their assigned doula and myself. Beautiful, healthy baby boy, and mom health wonderful. So things didn't go as planned, and that's okay. I think there's no saying that says if you want to make God laugh, tell him your plan. I've heard such stories, obviously in way less detail because I wasn't involved in talking to everybody involved of just, seemingly perfectly ready to go natural, healthy births that still have to go to C-section, and that's okay. So after 2 days of labor, we welcome Season Augustus on the day of the eclipse. They say that's the last one in America for 25 years. So that's your crazy birthing story. I love you.